Hello and welcome to Paper Plays Julie K.
Welcome everyone, and thank you so much for stopping by to check out my latest video. And today I'm here continuing to work on the full deck challenge number 3 hosted by Shnooky Art on YouTube. And this week's prompt is dark green, and last week we did the light green one, and I just have it sitting here for inspiration. And so I did pull out a couple of things from my stash. And again, she has a couple little sub-challenges, like doing it collage style, carrying out one item that's on all of your cards. And so I have chosen to use this rubber stamp. And also having one element that's carried over to the next week. And so last week I did use the scrap paper, and I had stamped on it with some of the green paper that I used last week, the lighter green. So I think I'm going to put this one in just for a little bit of contrast, and it has my one element that I'm carrying over each week, which is the rubber stamp. So that one kind of covers both of those prompts. And so somewhere on here I'm going to use that. And I'm just making sure I have my glue stick ready to go, and then also a little scrap paper because I usually make a little bit of a mess. And so as I was going through my little stash here right before I started filming, a couple of things kind of stood out to me for my little smaller, like maybe focal points. I found a couple of little tickets in a little bit darker shades of green, and then I also found a darker postage stamp. So I'm thinking that I'm going to try to maybe use those as my focal point somewhere in the middle. And I still have some more of these bingo cards. I don't know if I'm going to add more of those to the card or not. I have some buttons. There's some other numbers. I did pull out a couple of butterflies. Also, just some advertising ephemera. And I have some sentiments on this little sheet right here, some punch out sentiments that I think are kind of a darker green color. And of course, scrapbooking paper that's scraps. So I'm just going to work with some of that, just kind of see what stands out to me. And when I was pulling out my scrap papers, I did have, and somewhere in this pile, I have the circle here that I must not have used, but I also had the punch. But I was thinking, well, wouldn't that be kind of cool maybe to punch one of my pieces of paper that shows, because another one of the little sub-challenges within the challenge is to show your suit and the number of the card. So I'm thinking maybe I could try to do something like that. Maybe, and I have a couple different punches sitting here that, you know, I could kind of do that too. So I just need to decide on paper. So maybe what I'm going to do is I'm thinking, let's just punch some of this paper and see what it looks like. I think I want it to go off the page. That one just seems so big. Is that what this size one is? Yeah, that's what that one would have been. Let's just look at that one. Yeah, I think I got to do a smaller sized one. I don't know, these punches don't always work well on lighter weight paper, but that one seemed to do okay, so that's good. So let's just look here. Because I think that's kind of cool right there. Just so I could see my suit and number. I could also do it up here. So let's try that. Let's just see what this looks like. Just rip a little bit of this one. Okay, I think I like that. We can put that one next to it. I also have a darker old Stampin' Up pad that has some dark ink on it that I can use to edge things. So yeah, let's just start gluing, I think, and then we'll just layer on top if we have to. So hopefully everyone's doing well. I've been enjoying this little challenge. It's just kind of fun to go through your scraps and pieces that you've maybe forgotten about and just use them up on little mini challenges like this. It's just kind of a perfect little challenge for me to work on every week while I work on other projects. That's in my craft room. So I'll re-punch my hole when I'm done here. So yeah, I like that. And again, if I put something, you know, if I layer these somehow on top of this stuff, I'm still good there. So maybe I just need another couple pieces of paper down here that are dark green. So I think that kind of works just for a little bit of a background there. I don't want to think too much on these. These are just supposed to be little projects that I can wrap up in a half hour or less. So, all right. Then also kind of as a sub challenge for myself, I've been using like some of the scraps or the things that I pull out and decorating the Rolodex cards. So I'll show you guys what my Rolodex card looks like again at the end of the video once I've figured out exactly what I'm going to do with this one. Kind of feel like I need maybe a little bit more of this green color just for some contrast. So I'm going to pull out my paper from the last week. And I still have some of that. So let's glue this one down. The little postage stamp on some paper. And then I'll just kind of cut around it. Yeah, I think that'll work just to have a little bit of a border. Just to break up some of the darker colors. It'll add a little contrast and a little bit of depth to the layout. And something just fell off my desk. I don't know if you guys heard that. So yeah, I think that'll work. I just need to layer stuff. And I kind of like that this ticket has red since there's red in the card. So, part of me was thinking I should add some sort of butterfly wings. I know that Shanna, which is the Shinuki art, I think that's her name, or Shauna, she's put some butterfly wings on the sides of some of hers, and I think that looks kind of neat. And I have a couple dark butterflies here. That one seems kind of small. The brown just doesn't really match. If I'm going to do it, it's got to be with this one right here. But maybe I don't need it either. Yeah, maybe this isn't the one to do that, but I would like to do that on one of my, just to have something sticking out. I have some different labels that I could add on here. I could cut some of the numbers out. What else do I have? I have some buttons. See, I got a big button. Or some smaller ones here too. Here's one with a little date on it. Oh, no. No, I don't like that. That one just says story on it. I'll show you guys close. So I think I'm going to use that one just kind of down in the corner. I'm going to ink the edges to make it stand out a little bit more. So yeah, I think I'm okay with this. So let's just go ahead and glue these down. I'm trying to decide if I want, because I did pull out, I've been cleaning and organizing different parts of my craft room, and I came across like this mess of gold embroidery floss, I think. And I was thinking, you know, maybe gold would be a kind of a pretty color to put behind stuff that I could also, you know, kind of bunch it up maybe and put that, you know, bunch up some of it and put it behind the postage stamp. So I might do that too. So I'll cut some of that out and then we'll just go ahead and glue it all down here. Okay, I might need to use a different type of glue on this one. Let's try some of my Fabri-Tac. So I am going to take a pen too and draw around a couple things. And I'm thinking maybe I might make some little dots or something. Maybe a dot and a slash kind of border around my whole card. Just to add a little extra interest. And then I think the only thing I have left to add is if I want to add the button. And I do want to add that, I'm pretty sure. So I'm going to use my glossy accents to glue the button down since it's a heavier embellishment. And so that'll take a little bit of time for it to dry. But I'll hold it up so you guys can see what this one looks like. You know, not too bad. Probably not my favorite so far of the series, but it's not bad. So I'm going to go ahead and alter my Rolodex card and then with using some scraps and things I didn't use that are sitting here on my desk, and I will be back to show you the finished results. So I finished doing the Rolodex card again using just the scraps and pieces I didn't use that were sitting on my desk. And so I did this one real quick. You know, I still might add something more to it, I'm not sure, but for now I'm going to call it done. And then on the back side, I also I pulled out some stuff that I had the bird left over from when we did the orange prompt, and I just used some more of that dark green on the background. And I had pulled out a sheet that had different words on it, and one of them happened to be the word love, and it was kind of an orange color, so I thought that would match on the back side of that one. So I did that one, and the buttons are still drying. And then while I did that one, I also thought it would be fun to just do a background one where I used all of like the cutoff pieces and just kind of make a masterboard. And then I did decide to go ahead and add a couple more pieces. The orange one from this side kind of inspired me to go through my orange pile again. And so I just grabbed a couple of things that I had left from the orange pile and kind of layered up on there. This one I still think needs a word or something, and I'm sure down the road I'll add to it, but for now I'm going to call it good. And this one, the button's still drying, but I didn't decorate the back yet. So I'll probably add something to that one eventually. But I did want to share those. And I think the only thing I have left to do on this one is I forgot to punch the top of this one now that I look at it. So we'll go ahead and do that one, and then I'll show you one last time, and I'll put it on my little ring. And so that's what this one ended up looking like. Again, this is the dark green prompt. And so I'm going to go ahead and add it onto my ring. And again, thank you guys so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you back for another episode. And I believe next week the theme is light blue, and she's also adding an extra little prompt called Be Free. I watched the video the other day, and that one I think just meant to, she was just trying to not be so coordinated or think through what she was gluing down on her card. So I'll try and do that too next week. So I'm going to start digging out light blue scraps and see what I can come up with for next week. So until then, you guys have a wonderful day and happy crafting.